Hello everyone, welcome to the copywriting course, and I'm glad to see you here. So let's start. So the content of the first lesson is we are going to talk about profession, text styles, and text formats. So firstly, let's talk about the profession. What is copywriting and who is copywriter? So today, copywriting is one of the most popular online professions. A copywriter is an author who writes advertising text to order. With the help of the word, he helps to create the right image, the right branding for the company, increase conversion in the sales. So the history, the word copywriter, as we see, comes from the English words copy, a manuscript, and a writer or an author. So also, advertising in writing has existed since ancient times. The profession of copywriter appeared only at the end of the 19th century in the USA, and it was then that advertisers realized that consumer behavior could be influenced by a properly composed text, messages, and for the first time hired a copywriter. Also, copywriters work with different text formats, press releases, advertisement, commercial offers, landing pages, slogans, selling text, and also, copywriters provide comprehensive services, but specific specializations can also be distinguished. For example, SEO copywriters write text to promote websites in search engines, and social media marketing copywriters create content for social networks, for example, Instagram, some Facebook, and so on. So some stop at some one line of work and write only text for landing pages, email newsletters, or are engaged exclusively in image copywriting. So we are going to look through all of these text formats, for example, text for SEO, text for social media, emails, SMS, text, and so on. Okay, so the next one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this profession? So positive sides or pluses of this profession are firstly, free schedule. A freelance copywriter chooses a convenient time of work himself, so you can work when you want to work in the morning or in the night. It only depends on you. The next one is fast learning. To become a copywriter, you don't need to study at the university for several years, and courses will be enough, for example, like ours. The next one is creation. Thanks to this profession, the author reveals his creative potential. So you can write what you feel or what you think, and so on. The next one is demand. Bloggers and companies constantly need new content to promote on the internet, so there is no shortage of orders. And also, today it's no longer enough just to have a website or maintain a company account in social network. You need to be able to stand out, interest the client, and convince him to purchase a specific product or service. And the copywriting could help the client. The next one is employment and the career. So copywriters can work for themselves and search for orders on exchanges, through social networks, or receive them through intermediaries. And there is another option to get a permanent job in the office of a company that needs to update content all the time. For example, some marketing companies. Beginners usually get their hands on freelance exchanges. At such sites, a high rating plays a decisive role, which needs to be improved with the help of test tasks for the level of skill and the positive customer reviews. Having gained experience, it won't be difficult to get a job in content studio or an advertising agency. And this profession has a career path, of course. So a copywriter can become an editor and lead a team of authors and content managers as a full-time employee of an organization or open his own studio. But of course, this profession also has some disadvantages. For example, strain on vision and back. A copywriter spends a lot of time at the computer, which may cause problems with vision and the posture. The next one is tight deadlines because sometimes little time is given to prepare the material, to look through it, to search it, to write it. Especially should be able to calculate the forces in order to have time to understand the topic and pass everything on time. And of course, competition because this profession is popular nowadays, but you can be a profession, real profession, so there is no competition for the best ones. Okay, so let's let's continue. So we are going to talk about the textiles. So textiles. There are 5 styles of text that we will analyze in relation to the activities of a copywriter. And the first text style is scientific one. So the scientific style of the text is used in scientific circles, relevant journals, scientific publications. The style is used by scientists and specialists from various fields of human research. So why do you need to know about this style? Because, for example, some medical company or some university may ask you to write a scientific text. So you should know how to write it then. So the main stylistic features. The first one is the presence of patterns and clear cause and effect relationships. The next one is the logic of thought. So your sentences and text should be logically. The next one is usually nouns predominate in such a text. The vocabulary used is mostly abstract as well as a lot of highly specialized terminology. Informational orientation of the text. The next one is the evidence base for the reported data is necessarily summed up. It should be added to the dictionary definition that the scientific style of the text isn't always easy to read, and it's even more difficult to write in this style, even for a copywriter who generally speaking can handle almost any text. And let's say right away that this style in copywriting can be used very selectively when working on text with a scientific bias, if there are any. Okay, so let's continue. The next style is official business style. So here is the message is delivered in a restrained, dry manner. A variety of documentation, especially legal documentation, is drawn up in an official business style. So stylistic features of the text, of the official business style text. The first is the predominance of direct word order in sentences. Imperative is implied that the reader must strictly follow the message. Accuracy, the reader gets an ambiguous, clear message with every sentence. A strict composition built in accordance with the nature of the message. Emotionality is completely absent. Informational orientation of the text, and the use of a broad nomenclature of an official nature. And the most serious of the available styles, and any copywriter will say that sticking to it's a mortal anguish. And what can you do? Sometimes you have to work in this direction because some companies, for example, it could be bank system, they mostly write an official business style. Okay, the next one. The next one is journalistic style. So it's the most used style, as I think. So journalistic style, text in this style awakens the mass consciousness from hibernation, mainly using a variety of media channels. The main stylistic features, the presence of public, broadly directed and often political vocabulary, including abstract character. The next one is emotionality of the text, so you can use emotions here. The next one is logical constructions quite worthy of the scientific style, informational orientation to the mass reader in order to encourage active public action. The next one is the impact of the text on the mind and feelings, the figurative nature of the text, and the appeal of messages. So, for the most part, the style used by the journalistic, however, a copywriter may come across text of a similar nature in the work, so we mean. The next one. The next one is artistic style. So this style is the easiest to write because it could have a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, and just for example, you can use it in personal blog, for example. So artistic style, a style widely used in fiction, especially in its genre variety. The main impact is directed at the imagination and feelings of the reader, bordering largely on the journalistic style in this regard. So, what features this style has? Maximum use of images, artistic techniques, emotionality of language, but unlike other styles, have an aesthetic orientation. The most widespread use of the lexical richness of the language, so you can use a lot of different words, synonyms, and so on. And the style widely used by writers of all artistic trends in literature. The copywriter leans towards this style in his text as he offers a maximum of tools for expressing almost any thoughts, any feelings. Let's move on. And the last style is conversational text style. So this is the exchange of information with the environment in informal or low official manner. So it exists mostly in oral speech, although it can be used by the same writers for aesthetic purposes, so it's quite legitimate in literature works. So main stylistic features are the use of colloquial and vocabulary. Next one is dive word subtext are used most powerfully. The colorfulness of terms, often bordering on what is allowed in the generally accepted language. High emotionality and expressiveness of the text. And abundance of interjections. And the next one, for example, any other elements of the language that make the text breathe life and emotions. Okay, so this style is closest to the blogger's manner. So, for example, if you are going to be a copywriter for some blogger, you can use this style. Just, for example, talking with the audience of the blogger. Yes? Okay. Next one, we are going to talk about the formats of the text. So, we have two formats. It's SMS mailing, so elaborate on what you want to discuss, and email mailing, elaborate on what you want to discuss. So let's look through the life hacks that will help you convey the meaning of SMS because you know SMS should be short. The first, tell the essence of the offer in the first two lines. For example, meet the new boutique, the new shop, its name, in the shopping center and take 20% discount on everything. The next one is use the company name or brand. Autumn is warmer with the new Levi's collection because when you name the company, it shows you who is writing to you. Shorten, just your text should be as maximum as short as you can write it. The next one is use a minimum abbreviations. Yes, because some people don't know what, for example, abbreviation for your company. The next one, segment the database because your text should be directly written to your clients. The next one, talk about what the client needs. For example, you have run out of gym membership, buy a new one with a 15% discount. And stick to a simple structure, benefit, call to action, and the contact. So call to action is action that your client should do. Pre-order a new Samsung and get headphones as a gift and your contact number. Yes? So benefit. The benefit is that you get the headphones as a gift, and call to action is pre-order a new Samsung and your contact. Let's move on. Life hacks that will help convey the meaning of email. The first is writing for people, not for yourself. The first mistake of companies is to write about themselves, a lot of text about themselves. An effective letter, first of all, solves the client's problem and not just tells about the company. And it's important to compose an effective text for the newsletter. Ask yourself three questions. What task will this newsletter solve for the company? How will it help the subscriber or the client? How to make the letter understandable and friendly for the client, of course. The next one is don't write more than you need to. People have a lot to do besides reading mail. You know that. And if you send a long email, they won't even start reading. So try to be brief. Determine for yourself the essence of the proposal on the three issues that we described above and wrap this essence in a minimum of text for mailing. And the last one is structure the body of the letter. See for yourself what will be more pleasant for you to read. So the first one, this one, when it's all the lines, or the second example on the right. The brain is so designed that it looks for easiest way to think or not to think. The sheet of the text is a big task. For example, the text divided into sections and paragraphs is a lot of small tasks that are easier to approach subconsciously. So your reader wants to read the second example than the first one because it's easier to understand and to read. Okay, and how to get a letter noticed in the inbox. We are talking about the email mailing. So you have written a conscious text for the mailing list that solves the reader's problem. This is already good, but we should do better. So now you need to make the letter attractive from the outside so that the newsletter is noticed in the inbox and opened. So the first, and it's important, sender's name. You should call it. You should know your client's name. Choose it depending on the style of communication in the newsletter. For official letters, you can write the company name in this field. For more informal letters, add the employee's name to the name. If you are promoting a personal brand, then use your name. And the second one is a bright theme, a bright topic. So after the sender's name, the look goes exactly to the topic. If a person isn't familiar with your content yet, then it's based on the topic that will decide whether to open this letter or not. And also use these proven techniques for a catchy topic. Make a benefit, what client gets, for example, add intrigue, for example, some questions, and use emojis because we can do nothing without emojis nowadays. And in conclusion, we have a task for you, but firstly, a competent copywriter shouldn't only know the styles of text, but also skillfully act within each of them. Writing text in different styles not only improves the language of the copywriter, but also allows him to use the capabilities of his native language more flexibly in achieving his ambitions in the field of the pen, in the field of keyboard, in other words. Therefore, we train to work in any of the styles, combining, finding our own, the one in which it turns out to be the most constructive to create for us. And the tasks for you is write a text about any company in an official business style and come up with a text from the company for SMS mailing using the life hacks that I'll tell you. So thank you for this lesson and see you soon. Bye. Hello, welcome to the copywriting course, and let's start. So today we are going to talk about emotions in text and how to affect our clients, readers, and customers by text and emotions in the text. So firstly, it's important to know that customers are often asked to write more emotional text, and not all copywriters understand in which case the abundance of epithets in combination with exclamation marks is really necessary. In the text, almost the only expressive means of the writer are words, as we know. You can also add stylistics and punctuation, which to some extent can imitate intonation. But it's necessary to understand, do we want to convey our own emotions or to evoke the emotions we need from the reader? Because we are talking about the specific text, the ultimate purpose of writing, which is to sell our services or goods. So, of course, we want to evoke the emotions of our clients. So, let's look through example. A $5,000 discount on exclusive bracelets at the price of $10,000. Gold of the 750s test, and there are 24 hours left until the end of the sale. You can ignore this message, but if you want to surprise her, it's time to act. Today is exactly that day. So here we can see that we evoke the emotion of our reader. For example, it can be hurry. It can be, for example, the man who wants to surprise her wife, and of course, he wants to make her smile. So he will be in hurry to buy this and to use the discount. So in the early 2000s, during the formation of the info business, is the business when information or knowledge is sold. When selling text just appeared, the emotional intensity in them was off the scale, and there were several reasons for this. Firstly, it's widely believed that it's emotions that provoke people to make purchases. We should immediately note that this is true, but in part. The silent text offers special products that are not really needed by a potential buyer and are even frankly useless. You can't sell them without emotions, these kind of products. So, how to use emotions in text? The easiest way to convey emotions is to describe them. You can use different types of vocabulary to describe it. For example, words denotate emotional states and characteristics of a person. For example, joyful, sad, evil, irritated, enthusiastic, and so on. To enhance the effect or give a shade to feelings, you can add definitions: slightly enthusiastic, unusually angry, hopeless sadness, insincere joy, and so on. It gives a extra imagination and extra picture. So the next one is words that have a figurative meaning and reflect an emotional attitude. Hat, rack, mattress, club, and etc. The next one is words of increased expression. Scum, pet, handsome, and so on. They also convey an emotional attitude. Well, unfortunately, they have almost exclusively negative connotations. Also, metaphors not only convey emotions, but also create a mood, coloring the entire passage of the text with them. And yes, emotions we can convey with the help of various adjectives, but if they are not filled with a meaning that is understandable to the reader, they will be empty. So it should be understandable. These emotions should be understandable to the reader. So, for example, the first is each guest will be able to have breakfast with delicious dishes that are included in the room price. We offer dishes of European cuisine with a delicate taste and a unique aroma. But if we will write this in this case, when you wake up, you can come down to our restaurant. We will prepare for you a cup of hot, fresh coffee, freshly baked baguette, and some handmade butter. In addition, you can order combo breakfast. Butter, eggs, and milk are delivered to our kitchen every morning from our own farm. The picture is filled with feelings, reading, We imagine the smell of coffee and fried bacon and crusty bread with butter is already melting in our mouth after we read this text. So, this is how we can evoke the emotions. Okay, so how to evoke emotions? Conversational style gives an emotional coloring to the text. Write in a lively language as if you are telling something to your friend. Use short sentences, addresses to the reader. For example, if you know the name, use it. Interrogative sentences, words understandable to your audience. So, firstly, short sentences, it shouldn't be a long text because, firstly, you really don't have enough time to read long texts, long reads. The second one, if you call your reader by his name, it's always pleasant. The third one, interrogative sentences and words understandable to your audience. And also, as we said before, emotions that are understandable to your audience. So, to conclude this lesson, writing emotionally is evoke the right emotions in the reader. To write emotionally, you need to get impressions yourself. To evoke certain emotions, draw a picture and use details. And the conversational style gives the text the necessary emotionality. So use this style if you want to evoke these emotions. And of course, we have a tasks for you. So write a text on any topic in emotional coloring. It could be sadness, joy, happiness, aggression, or nostalgia. So thank you for your attention and see you soon. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome to the copywriting course and let's start today's lesson. So today we are going to talk about text for social media, text for landing page and SEO texts. Firstly, it's important to know that a copywriter writes to solve specific tasks, specific problems of company, his own and the client, so it's important to understand what you want to convey to a person and what it will give him. The task of any text is to influence the reader or the buyer of the company, and it's desirable to divide this task into several subtasks. For example, what a person learns from your text, what a person will feel while reading your text, and what a person should do after reading the text. So, to answer these questions, you have to know your target audience. It's important to understand who your reader is and why he should come to you and not to a competitor. It's interesting to paint a portrait of a representative of your target audience. Define not only age, gender, geography of residence, profession, income level, but also think about his habits, interests, hobbies, manner of communication, and so on. So here I have some example for you. For example, it's target audience of luxury cosmetics. So who it could be? Young girls, young women between 18 and 25 years old, students, employees of companies and businesswomen caring for themselves and loving expensive purchases. So here you can see the target audience and you will write the text, for example, for the Instagram of this cosmetic company depending on this target audience, this segment. Next thing that it's important to know is the kind of text for social media. So here we have firstly reputation text. The task is to let the person understand what you are an expert in and why you should be trusted. You build the trust of a potential client. A second type is motivational, but before it, a text for a social network of reputational nature helps to form the right association. A good format is step by step guides, for example. And motivational text for social networks work well at the audience recruitment stage. They help to evoke a sense of unity, community, and belonging. Due to this, you create your audience, your potential customers. The third one is artistic. In artistic text, we share emotions. People want to buy from people, and that's important to know. So your text shouldn't be like it was written by the robot. So that is why we should have some feelings, some emotions, pictures, and so on. Viral texts help to gain a new audience. As a rule, these texts are devoted to topical issues, something that attracts attention. For example, it could be something funny or something very sad, or it could be something that will have a conversation between your audience and you. So, all types of text for social networks are equally important. They all work for sales, so you should not ignore any of the types and give priority to one. So, how to write for social media? Start text with the main idea. Look at the first phrase. Then remember that the logic of text construction is similar to the logic of speech, so start with the main thing. Next one is clean up the text. In addition to unnecessary generalizations, for example, as everybody knows, it's not a secret for everyone, the texts are rich in superfluous adjectives, complex legal language, and many others. You could read an examples from the book by Nora Gall. She was a writer and she has a great book for writers, so my suggestion for you is to read this one. For example, instead of he felt sense of joy, you could write he rejoiced, or we make a comparison instead of compare, or carry out lending instead of credit. The next one is simplify the phrases as much as possible. Most often, what is written in 4 words can be written in 2 words. The smaller the text is the easier to read. So after you have complied the structure and the defined which of these is the most important and which is not by sending the important in the first part of the text, weigh the meaning of the phrases. Also, we have something that we pay attention to. First one is comparisons. This is not always appropriate and requires some experience. You can get it by reading a lot. So, facts, always do fact checking and always check what you say and what you write. The next one is borrowed words from other languages. Give the word an explanation or find an analog in your native language. In big letters, for example, action, sale. This is a thing of the past and is not always effective, so please stop doing it. A stream of thoughts. Don't try to tell everything in one post and in one text at once, because the best option is one post equal one thought. So let's look through some examples. Here you see the Instagram pages of Reebok and Cartier. So these texts are more reputational because we see, for example, in Reebok that they are presenting their new model of the sneakers, and Cartier. It's also reputational because you see they writing about their new watch and they write how much, for example, hours it takes to develop this one. The next example is Netflix. So you see the text and you see the pictures. So I think, in my opinion, this is the viral text and the viral post because you see it's a lot of comments. And the second picture, it has also a question. So it could give an advantage by communicating with your followers. Yes, and also people like to share this kind of post and this kind of text, so it this one is 100% is viral. Let's move on, and here we are talking about a landing page. So, what is landing page? A landing page is a page that sells a certain product or service. Moreover, the sale is being made here and now. Landing pages are built from blocks. At the same time, each block performs its specific task and visually stands out with the help of design. This presentation of the material also helps to competently bring a person to the sale and at the same time saves him time because landing pages they are short, they're not so big. If a user wants to find an answer to a specific question, then he doesn't have to read the entire page. He scrolls it to the right place and stops there to read. Let's look through the structure of landing page. So the first screen includes a title that reveals the essence of the offer or your unique product offer, a background image, and a subscription form or a target action button. The next one is blocks that reveal the essence of the offer, description of the service or the product, benefits, and the sale prices. The next is blog that inspire confidence in the buyer. For example, it could be information about the company, customer reviews, scheme of work, guarantees, logos of partners, contact card addresses, and phone. Also, you can add a photo gallery, for example, where the customer reviews are. The next is blog with call to action. Is for example, leave your contact number and we will call you, and so on. And the page should have bright, catchy headlines, text, maximum specifics, minimum water, clear conclusions, and clear call to action. So, text that landing pages have. Offer, this is the main trade offer. Distinct, clear, including benefits for the buyer. If possible, then add specifics, not low prices, but for example, only for $55. Not fast delivery, but delivery within an hour in the area, and so on. Headings. The title includes the problem that you are solving with your proposal, with your service or product. In addition, the headlines are different and each of them has its own purpose. An intriguing headline, the main goal here is to create intrigue to attract the user's attention. Another good option is to put pressure on the pain of a potential audience. There is also an intriguing headline, the main so for example, don't try to study copywriting. Well, then the sentence itself is revealed in the text until you learn the cool techniques of writers. Another good option is to put pressure on the pain. As we said before, for example, you have a dentist company and you have a lot of clients with the teeth problems. So you can use this pain of the client. The next is summary heading. Another type of header for the landing page is a generalizing one that is summing up an intermediate result, summarizing some blog. The simplest example is the title for the blog Our Advantages or Q&A. The next one is subheadings. So the title is only the first step and it's desirable to strengthen the effect of the title for a subtitle is used. In supply to the unit, the main idea of the block can be indicated directly in the title, only it's not used in all spheres. For example, if we are talking about some expensive product or service, then the user needs to be prepared to bring him to the decision about the purchase. We should explain each thought. So here we have some example. It's the landing page of Asana. So we have heading, bring products to market faster with Asana, but it also offer. Next we have subheading, which is Asana is the easiest way for product managers to track their team's work and get results. Also, we have here pop-up. No matter where your team is working, we can help. How can we help you get started with Asana? Is the chat with support team. And also we have some links here, why Asana, features, resources, enterprise, pricing, contact sales, login, and get started. So we have push button and we have links that makes the work and makes to get information easier on this landing page. So this is the goal of landing page actually. So the next one is SEO text. So SEO texts are classic optimized texts that are often found on the pages of online stores, marketplaces. So search engine optimization, the goal is to attract traffic. Also, it's a streamlined text for robot search engines, for example, Google. The information must contain keywords and they respond to the user's request. Also, SEO copywriting is the process of writing optimized articles in the text. What do we need for writing SEO text? Firstly is idea, topic search and analysis, then audit, study of competitors and analysis of key phrases, then foundation, collecting the semantic core for the future text, the beginning of work, creating a plan, then we should do a realization, write in a draft version of the text, then optimization, filling with keywords, the text, mistakes, checking it for errors, then launch publication of the work and conclusion, which is performance evaluation. So here we have some rules. The material meets the user's request without unnecessary extra information, only necessary information. The text contains complete and reliable information on the topic. High quality SEO text is a competent text without stylistic errors, contains a small number of keywords, structured and unique text. It's important. Clear and understandable content written in simple language and in language that your target audience is understand. So structural elements of SEO articles or text, in order for our text to be easily perceived by the reader, it's important to understand that SEO articles and text and the rules for writing them require a strict and logical structure. And we are talking about headings and the paragraphs. So firstly, the plan has headlines, and then lead is an introductory text that contains a summary of the article. This block is focused on attracting the reader's attention, so it should be written good. The content of the article is adding the table of contents. Then we have description. It's creating a structured text from paragraphs and sentences. Then we have links. So we supplement the text with links to research, programs, articles, etc. Then we have the list system. We make out proposals with lists and tables for better memorization of material. And then conclusion. At the end of the text, we summarize and also we add call to action. So this is an example. For example, headline, 5 effective time management techniques. The lead, every day we face millions of small and large tasks, and sometimes our head is spinning from the fact that we don't have time to solve them. We suggest studying and starting to implement these techniques in your life in order to have time to live life. Description, for example, 80 to 20 technique, the principle of Pareto. The next is the main idea, the advantages of this principle, the list system, a brief description in the infographic in the picture, conclusion and call to action, use these techniques and for a deeper study, buy our course. So how not to do it? Firstly, highlight keywords in the text. It's reasonable to highlight search words only in a document with text in order to track the use of all keys. Bold text, bold style doesn't affect the promotion, so there is no need for this style. The next is spam. Text with spam isn't only difficult to read, but search engines perceive it negatively, so remember that. The next is solid text. When the characteristic is written in solid text, it's inconvenient to read. Most likely, the user won't pay attention to the text because it's difficult. So, how to do it? A small number of keywords. So, use words in one text. So, it shouldn't be a lot of them because the text with a single purpose to fit all the keys on this page. For the text, it's the best to choose 3 or 4 main words and up to 5 additional ones for which promotion is planned. The next is use H1 and H2 headers. Splitting the text with headings will make it convenient for the search engine and your customers. So the H1 heading is located at the very beginning of the text, and the H2 level headings are subheadings. There may be several of them in the text. And also linking in the text. Linking is a system of internal links from one page of your company or of your site to another. They help the user to find answers to his questions faster, and in addition, it allows you to influence the output through behavioral factors. The more active time the user spends on the site, the better the site according to Google. And also, website promotion by text is a great tool for attracting users. SEO promotion allows you to create content that will bring new traffic for years. So the task. The task is to write a reputation text for the Instagram of the hardware store. So that was all for today's lesson. Thank you for your attention. Hello everyone, welcome to the copywriting course. Today we are going to talk about the selling text. Its formulas AIDA, PMHS, ODC, DIBABA, and 4 Ps. So the purpose of the selling text is for the reader to buy, call, subscribe to the newsletter, for example. The formulas of the selling text are ready-made structures by which you can write a post to a social network, a letter to a mailing list, a landing page text for the sale of services or goods. The first formula is the most famous formula, AIDA. It consists of 4 elements. They are attention, interest, desire, and action. So any commercial offer must first attract attention, as we know, then arouse interest, stimulate desire, and call for an action. So A stands for attention, it's to draw attention to the text. I is interest, tell the reader what will interest him. D is desire, now you need to summon desire. And A is action, now tell what the reader needs to do to get the product or the service. So describe all the advantages of the product or service also for the desire and prove that your offer is profitable. And where can this formula be applied? The market segment is B2C, which is business to a customer, and B2B, which is business to business. Types of text, it could be a letter to the mailing list, a text for landing page, a post on social network, for example, Facebook or Instagram, advertisement and advertising booklet, and commercial proposal. An example. So you attract the attention of the target audience with a short phrase or question. For example, do you want to learn how to write interestingly? We turn to the second point and we write the advantages of the offer. In our case, the advantage may be that it's online course. In the paragraph desire, we denote benefit. What benefits does a person who has learned to write interesting text get? New profession, skill improvement, and at the end of the call to action, we could add call, write, or come to our center, for example. The second formula is PMHS formula. This formula is used quite often. After all, telling about the pain and giving a solution is an effective method. So P is pain, point out the biggest pain of a potential client, put it in the headline. M, more pain, add more pain. Enhance the effect, tell us about the consequences if you don't solve the problem now. H is hope, tell us how to help a person. And S is solution, so make it clear that your offer is a solution. Where can this formula be applied is the market B2C and rarely B2B, and the volume of the text is any. Types of text: a letter to the mailing list, landing page, a post on social network, advertisement, and advertising booklet. Here is an example. P. No money for your own housing. More pain. So you continue to rent an apartment even though the whole family is already cramped. Have you thought about a loan but don't want to pay extra percent? Hope. There is a suggestion. Now to become the owner of your own apartment, you don't need to take it out a loan at a huge percent. Solution: our company offers installment payment for 3 years. First, you move in and only then make the first installment payment. The next formula is called ODC. So, first, it begins with offer. Text begins with a product offer, often contains a discount. Deadline reports that the offer is limited, there are few goods left, or discount, or the pre order period is expiring. Then the third one is call to action: write, call, or buy. The formula is applicable to booklets, flyers, banners, promotions. It can also be used to involve customers in the sales funnel. The consumer often sees the ODC formula and is tired of it. Therefore, the text on it should be as honest and really interesting as possible. And where can this formula be applied? The market segment is B2C, so business to consumer. The volume of the text is small, so text should be small. The types of the text are a letter to the mailing list, advertisement, a post on a social network. An example: offer: design a collection of necklaces and bracelets with a discount. Each client has an engraving as a gift. Deadline: the promotion is valid until 25th of May when buying products for $1,000. Call to action: leave your request for a unique product. The next formula is Dibaba. Dibaba is an instruction for creating text. So it starts with desire. First, the target audience should find out their pains and needs. Then, identification. The selling text shows the needs of readers. Bump: push the buyer to the conclusions that the product is worth buying. For example, write about the advantages. The next step is reaction. So anticipate the reader's possible reaction to the message and work out objections. The next is buy, motivate to buy. Offer a discount, tell about the service or deadline, for example. And then atmosphere. Create convenient conditions for purchase. Write contacts for which buyer can contact the company, place an application form on the page, and the Baba formula is usually used in landing pages. For example, question and answer blocks are left on them in which the objections of the target audience are worked out. Where can this formula be used? The market segment is B2C, and the volume of the text is any short or long, depends on you. And types of text are a letter to the mailing list, landing page, advertising booklet, and advertisement. Let's look through an example. So D, identifying the desires and the needs of the target audience. Buying an apartment. I, showing a specific desire. Buy an apartment on credit for 5 years at a low percent. B. Push the buyer to conclusions. The apartment in this residential complex are completely renovated and have an agreement with our bank. A. Predict questions and reactions. So, why is the price so low? The developer of the residential complex is one of our holders. B. Cause a desire to buy. At the conclusion of the contract before 31st of May, you will receive a coupon for a 40% discount in the plumbing store. And A. Create convenient conditions for purchase. Fill out the form and we will contact you for consultation. The next formula is 4Ps. So this formula combines and as emotional and rational approach. First, we draw a beautiful picture, then we prove it with facts. The first P is picture. Draw an attractive image of your offer. The second P is promise. Tell about the advantages. The third P is proof. So prove why the product or service is so good and why the consumer should buy it. And the last P is push. Make a call to action. Where to apply this formula? The market segment is B2C, business to customer. The volume of the text is any. Again, it could be short or long text. And types of text are a letter to the mailing list, landing page, advertisement, a post on a social network. So, an example. Picture a ring or bracelet made of white gold with a diamond and an engraving for an individual order is something that won't leave any girl indifferent. Promise. If you contact us, experienced craftsmen will create original rings with your wishes and individual unique engraving. P proof. See the works of our masters in the gallery. And push, engraving as a gift promotion, is valid for purchase until the May, for example. So, the conclusion the effectiveness of the promotion is influenced not only by the text, but also by the quality of traffic, targeting settings, funnel stage, and many other factors, and you should remember that. It's impossible to say that the text according to the formula works worse or better than the one written on a whim. So please look through different types of formulas, different types of writing styles, and then you will have the best option for you and for the company when you will write a selling text. And the task. Use one of the formulas and write a selling text for the bookstore. So, thank you for your attention and see you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the copywriting course, and let's start. The content of today's lesson is commercial offer for what we do we need it, types and the structure. So, what is commercial offer? A commercial offer is an appeal that tells about products or services or offers. The goal of the commercial offer is to set up contact with the buyer, with the client, show the values and value of the product, then sell it. This is a mini presentation of the company's activities or what the company ready to offer customers here and now. Usually, the commercial offer is sent by email or by any available means of communication and assumes further development of communication with the client. The ideal reaction to receiving is an interest in the product, interest in an offer, a purchase decision, and the conclusion of a contract. But what commercial offer isn't, it's not a presentation of a separate product or of one product. Commercial offer usually includes the main categories of goods or services, price list, and that is, it tells about all groups of goods and not just one. To do this, you need a full fledged advertising campaign, a separate landing page, PR, public relation in social networks, and on other channels, and so on. Also, this is not a text about the company. Don't think that you can copy the page of the site under this name and you will be happy. The date of creation of your company, the number of employees, and even the achievements is a topic for another document, not for commercial offer. And it's not the public relations of your business, of the business of company. One of the common mistakes is to praise the company while completely forgetting about the client and what the client needs. The golden rule of a commercial offer or selling text in commercial offer is write about the problems and pains of the client, not about the company, and speak the client's language. So, the main question is, why do companies need a commercial offer? Firstly, to tell potential customers about business. And it doesn't matter at all if every dog in the city knows the company or everything is detailed on the company's website. There will always be a non resident client or visitor who doesn't have time to read about the company section. Also, companies need commercial offer to find new customers, new partners, for example. This point echoes the first one with the help of competently complied commercial offer. Company can attract both cold customers and warm ones. And also, companies need commercial offer to draw attention to the brand and to create the image. Even if the commercial offer doesn't work, that is, the client doesn't buy the product, he can remember the name of the company and then, on occasion, remember it. It's no secret that people trust those brands that they have already heard about more. And if company manage to attract attention with a stylish design or bright headlines, consider one of the commercial offer functions exactly fulfilled. And to see the strengths of company and weaknesses again, and this works if company turn to specialists for composing a compromise who will bring to light the most important thing in company's activity. So there are two types of commercial offer. They are cold one and the warm one or the hot one. So the cold one, cold commercial offers are often sent out by startup companies that have just opened a business and want to make themselves known on the market, or cold commercial offers sent to new partners and new customers. So there are no personal conditions in cold commercial offers. They are the same for everyone. And here are some rules for drawing up a cold one. The first is unpersonalized. The cold commercial offer will be read by a variety of people, so no personal appeals. Everything is polite and as short as possible for everyone. The next one is laconically. Imagine that this commercial offer is received by email by a person unfamiliar with your activities, with activities of company, products, or services. And is he really going to read dozens of pages of text, even with pictures? Of course not. So, a maximum of a few pages is enough. And the last rule of cold commercial offer is that it should be universal, because you, as a copywriter, you don't know what exactly will work at the stage of reading the commercial offer, what exactly will hook the reader in the future client. So therefore, you need to hit all the points. The next type is hot or warm commercial offer. It's made individually. It will take into account all the client's requests as much as possible. In this case, the company can pay more attention to those who are interested in cooperation because um, warm or hot commercial offers they usually send to these clients who already has have some communications with the company. So some rules for drawing up a hot commercial offer. Firstly, it's targeted, so you call the client by name. You focus on what exactly he wants to get from the company. For example, you're writing a text for fitness club and you know a client's name and you also know how many months he went to your fitness club and how many months left of his um, clubbing. So you can offer him to add some additional months by calling his name and by knowing his, for example, trainings, kind of trainings, and so on. The second rule is that it's detailed, so a few pages are enough for a cold commercial offer, but you can write more in a hot one, in a warm one. If there are special offers, discounts, loyalty programs that are given only to selected customers, be sure to tell about them too. So, what is the structure of a commercial offer? Firstly, of course, its title. Almost half of the success of the commercial offer depends on the title. And if you send it by email without a title, a bright title, the letter won't even be opened, so the title should interest the client. The second is offer. This is your or company's unique trading offer to the client. You are facing a difficult task in just a few sentences, just a few seconds to make the reader feel your product and want to buy it. The third one is product or service line. So you write what you are selling, what the company is selling. For each segment, make its own commercial offer and send it to the address. The fourth is prices, discounts, a standard price list or a list of tariffs where you need to know discount sales and special offers, of course. The fifth is advantages of working with you, of working with this or that company. Tell the reasons why the client needs to contact the company. And you focus not on your strength, for example, but on what client can get from you and why the client should contact you, how you can help him. The sixth one is social evidence and guarantees. These are reviews of satisfied customers, warranty service, round the clock technical support, favorable conditions for return and delivery. Um, CTA, it's call to action. The commercial offer will be incomplete and will not fulfill its function if it's not completed with a call to action. You use call to action to motivate client to take an action, for example, by writing leave a request on the website and the manager will call back or reply to this email and get a 20% discount and so on. The last one, of course, is contacts. Always write contacts. So here is an example of commercial offer. The title, don't miss the opportunity to buy your own real estate. The offer, hurry up to become the owner of an apartment in a new modern residential complex at a low percent. The residential complex is built of environmentally friendly materials, has the function of a smart house and private parking. The product line, you can buy apartments with one, two rooms or a penthouse on the top floor. Prices and discounts, when making a purchase agreement before 25th of May, get a 5% discount. Advantages of working with you or with the company. We have various bank offers, installments, and convenient payment options for our customers. Social evidence, read the reviews of the residents of the house and see our gallery. Call to action, leave a request on website and the manager will call back. And the contact. So, as always, we have a task for you. Write a commercial offer about an innovative robot to an investor. It's an email. So, and this is the topic. Thank you for your attention and see you soon. Hello, welcome to our last lesson of copywriting course. And let's start. So, in this lesson, we are going to talk about technical specification or technical tasks and where and how to look for a job if you're a copywriter. So, the first one, technical specification or the technical task, what is it? So, the technical specification is a document in which the requirements for the project are fixed. This is roughly speaking any assignment to the constructor. The main thing is that the characteristics of the desired work results are clearly spelled out in it. In this case, the constructor is a writer, the copywriter, and so on. This is a brief where the requirements for the text or task that the copywriter should write are spelled out. Each text has a specific purpose and objectives. The copywriter must understand them, otherwise, the work will be ineffective. Often, in work, people are too lazy to give a technical task, and because of this, there are overwork, errors, and misunderstandings between the customer and the copywriter. So, therefore, remember, effective work is the result of the joint work of the copywriter and the company. It's impossible to do without a complete and correct technical tasks for the text here. So, if you're working with some companies, please ask for the technical task, because if you don't have it and company doesn't give it to you, you will overwork. It will be a lot of mistakes and misunderstandings. But if you have a technical task, the work will be effective for both of sides, for you and for the customer, for the company. So, what is the structure of the technical task? So, the first one is the subject, so it should be detailed. And if the task for the copywriter ends on the subject of the text, then this is a bad sample of the technical task. The next one is type of content. It should be written in technical task. The type of text must be specified. It could be product cards if it's, for example, marketplace. It could be long read if you're reading for some blogger. It could be ratings, digest, presentations, email newsletters, posts for social networks, and so on. The next one is purpose of the content of the text. The purpose of the text is what it's needed for and what task it should solve as a result. This is the desired result. For example, to sell some technical product, or to overview the result of some sales, some products, some services, and so on. The next one is a language understandable to the target audience and the specific target audience. So the text should be written in a language that is understandable to your audience. The text for scientists in the field, for example, aerodynamics and housewives, is written in different languages and has its own vocabulary and, of course, its own content. The next one is compliance with tone of voice. Tone of voice is the manner or the style that the company follows to communicate with its customers. For example, some company uses text with jokes, emojis, and someone chooses only official tone. So you should know and you should ask what is the tone of voice of the company that asks you for text and the copywriting work. The next one is the sources. It's links to competitor text or documents where you can get useful information. So please ask the customers and the companies for an example of the work of the text or how they see the future text. So it helps you not to make mistakes and give the company the desired result of the text. And the terms or the deadlines, it's the comfortable deadlines depend on the complexity of the topic and on how the technical task for the copywriter is complied. Always ask yourself how much time you have to complete the task, and if you don't have time, warn in advance, please. Okay, let's move on. So, technical requirements for the text. The first one is uniqueness. There is no point in 100% uniqueness. Sometimes it's just impossible. So use a rewrite. Next one is spamminess. So you shouldn't use a lot of unnecessary words that don't make sense, or a lot of words that are in the same meaning. The next one is volume. When writing a task for copywriters, it's better to indicate the required number of characters, and you should follow this number of characters. And the last one is additional information. So if company has it, it's very good. But if they don't give it to you, please ask for it for the additional information, because it could help you to write the right text. Yes, these are the features of the product, for example, or the company, the history of the organization, everything that will help to the copywriter. So, this is the example of the technical assignment for a copywriter. Subject, for example, technical specification for an Instagram post. Yes. The next one, type and purpose of the content. Information and the selling text of new electronic goods with a discount when buying from $1,000. And the goal is to increase sales by this post and by this text. The next one, target audience, women and men between 25 and 35 years old with average and above average earnings who want to upgrade or buy new appliances in the house. Tone of voice, accessible to the understanding of the buyer, simple and understandable. So you shouldn't use some technical requirements, technical words, because it wouldn't be understandable for your audience. And additional information is brand names of new equipment are listed in the catalog. So you can ask for this catalog to write the brand names in your post. Sources, screenshots from competitors' posts are attached at the end of the document. And the terms or deadlines, 7 days. Yep. As you can see, the technical task is necessary not only for the company or for writer, it's necessary for everyone. This is a guarantee that you will not lose money. You will earn it. The guarantee that time and peace of mind you will get with a higher probability the task that you expect and that will work. So, how to look for a job at the end of this course? So, the profession of copywriter is becoming more popular every day due to the ease of education and the growth of content on the internet. Therefore, entering the market may become more difficult because of the competition. There is a lot of competition in the copywriting market, but you should try your best and believe that every writer has its own reader and every copywriter has its own company. The next reason is dumping. So competition generates dumping. There are young copywriters who are ready to work for experience or for food, and there are customers who don't understand the value of an expensive text that helps their businesses. They are looking for a cheaper copywriter, don't get results, and are confirmed in the thoughts that it's not worth paying a lot money for copywriting. And the last reason is lack of portfolio. So beginner copywriters don't have a portfolio that can show the level of the text, or the copywriter doesn't write a cover letter to the response to the vacancy. So please create your portfolio, even if you don't have a text, just write for some companies and use these examples. For example, I will write this text in this order instead of this text, and so on. Where you can find the job. First is chat with vacancies where you study it. Often the courses have their own chat with vacancies for graduates. That's where you can find your first orders. The next one is website, channels, and chats with vacancies. Job sites don't require additional advertising. You can easily find them on the internet. You can just Google them if you want. Articles in the media. If you are well versed in any topic and you are ready to write an article about it, please write it and bring it to the thematic media. So maybe they could offer you a job as a journalist, as a writer, as a editor, and so on. The next one is spot cold mailing. If you have in mind blogger, young experts, or projects that you read and you would like to write for them and you can make it better, you look at their text and realize that you can do much better. Write them a post, think over a competent message, and write to a potential employer with an offer cooperation by attaching your text. And the next two variants are sites for freelancers and sites with internships. They will help you accumulate text and words for portfolio, and perhaps you will prove yourself well and you will be invited to work full time. And here are some life hacks for successful job search. Firstly, please write cover letter. In the letter, write that you understand the topic, briefly tell about your experience, about yourself and your regalias if you have them. Write that you know exactly what is required of a candidate for a vacancy. If you already have reviews about your text, about your job project, you can add them to the cover letter or give them a link. The next one is the presence of a portfolio. As we said before, collect a portfolio for yourself. There should be all kinds of popular text, content posts, selling text, storytelling, long reads, mailing lists, articles, landing pages, SEO text, and so on. The next one, write an explanation for each text that you have in your portfolio. What kind of text is it? A post or a letter or an article? And the purpose of the text. What did you want to achieve from readers, or what did company ask you as a purpose? And the next one, perform test tasks. Some employers require you to write a text for a specific topic. Write and do not be afraid of failure, because all this is an experience and you also can add this text for your portfolio. And of course, you should have social network account. It could be Instagram or Facebook with your text, your own thoughts, and so on. So make a post about being a copywriter. Tell or remind your subscribers that you are helping with text, and so on. And of course, search, try, fill the columns, because each author has his own reader. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for using this course, and I hope it will be useful for you. Bye.